Well, how you doing? This is Caleb Jones, and this is the Alpha Male 2.0 podcast. And once again, I apologize for the audio quality. I am in transit right now, and what I've done is I've gotten a different microphone this time for when I do these on the fly, like when I'm in a car or in a train. Right now I'm in a car, and it's raining outside, so I don't know if you hear the rain. But we'll see how this works with this new microphone. It might be a little less bad than it was before. Hopefully this mic catches less of the ambient noise when I do these fucking podcasts. Time management, baby. I always have to make sure that I am making the best use of my time and multitasking. And when the few times that I am forced to ride in a car, matter of fact, I'm planning on getting rid of my car when I move out of the country and not own a car, but I will still need to spend time in a car. Whenever I have to do that, I want to make sure that I spend that time productively. So doing these podcasts when I'm in the car or in a train or subway or whatever the hell, waiting around the airport, whatever, best use of my time. Never waste time. I am a time management dork. I am a time management nerd, and I am very, very conscious about how I spend my time. Matter of fact, I track every minute of all of my work hours every day, literally every day without fail, because I'm a time management maniac. But anyway, that is not the topic of today's podcast. I guess it's somewhat related. Today's topic is a problem that most of you have. I would venture to say that most of you listening to my voice, most of you in my audience, I tend to know my audience pretty well, most of you have, if not this problem, chunks and pieces of this problem. Matter of fact, I have a little bit of this problem, not much anymore. I had it much more historically than I do today. I'm much better at it now. I've made great strides in this area. But the way this works is, and I've said this before, my audience tends to skew higher in terms of intelligence and IQ, which is a good thing. And it is a good thing, it really is. I would rather have an audience full of smart guys than an audience full of irrational retards. So it's a good thing. I'm very happy about that. But not everything in life is 100% good or 100% bad. There's always mixtures of things, and there are some downsides to having an audience that is very intelligent. And one of the many downsides that you guys suffer from as more intelligent men are two diseases. And it is about these two diseases which I'm going to talk to you today, hopefully to help you resolve these two diseases or mitigate or minimize these two diseases. I'll give you some specific techniques. But these two diseases that most of you listening to the sound of my voice have are procrastination and perfectionism. And procrastination and perfectionism are brothers. They tend to follow along, not always, but they tend to follow along, in that if you have one, you will often have a lot of the other. Procrastination, everyone knows what that means. That's when you're putting off taking action to something you need to do, something you know you should do. That's procrastination. Very, very common. What is less common for the outside world, but more common for you guys, is perfectionism. And that is, I have to do everything perfectly right before I try it. And if I can't do it perfectly right, I won't do it because I can't get anything wrong. And so that is also, again, a delay on taking action. A lot of you guys went to a brainwashing center called college or university. And you went to this brainwashing center for 2 years, 4 years, God forbid more than that sometimes. And in this false brainwashing center, one of the false things that they brainwashed your little brain with is that you have to do everything right all the time. And if you do it wrong, you'll get a bad grade on your report card and your parents will hate you and you'll be a bum on the street. That's what they trained you to think. And so now you're out in the real world, and when I tell you to do things like message women online, set up first dates, do some non-monogamous relationships, start your own Alpha 2.0 business, find a niche, find a product, sell it, blah, blah, blah. Your brainwashed little brain says, well, but what if I do it wrong? How do I know for sure that the niche I choose is the correct niche? How do I know for sure that the website I make is the website that is the best website to sell my product? How do I know for sure that the product I pick, is a good product? What if I do it wrong? What if I pick the wrong product? What if I price it wrong? How do I know for sure that if I date one girl, she'll let me date other girls? What if she gets mad at me? What if she tells my mom? What if this? What if that? What if this? What if that? What if this? What if that? Perfectionism. Perfectionism is a disease. Procrastination is a disease. These are diseases. That's why you never want to say, well, that's just the way I am. I'm a perfectionist. Because some people do this. Well, that's just the way I am. I procrastinate on stuff. Some people say this. They rationalize these diseases, but it's a disease. You would never say, well, I have cancer, that's just the way it goes, I'll just sit here and die. No, you would try to resolve that problem, right? Right. So if you have this disease called perfectionism or procrastination, which you probably have both, you don't rationalize it, you fucking fix it. You address it. You don't just sit around for years and years and years and years listening to really cool content like mine and other people's and go, wow, that sure is cool, wish I could do that, but what if I do it wrong? I guess I better not do it. That sucks. That'd be a life of dread. I would hate to live a life like that. And when I was a young man, I had some of this. I'm like, well, I better do it right, or I better not do it at all. Wrong. Wrong-o. That is false societal programming. Success in life, particularly in business and also with women, is about doing many things wrong. Let me say that again. Success in life, getting the results that you want in your life, results from you doing many things wrong. I have said this before and I'll say it again a million times. At age 24, I went from zero to a six-figure income in 1990s dollars in less than 3.5 years, doing most things wrong. I did so many things wrong in my business. When I started my first business and quit my job, I did so many things. I get this feeling in my heart of embarrassment, and it's not a feeling I feel very often, if ever. I don't think I ever feel embarrassed by anything. But one of the rare times I feel this feeling is when I think back to all the stupid shit I did as a young man in my first company. When I started my first full-time business, it was a computer consulting company, and all the big, stupid, embarrassing, at least to me, things that I did wrong. The money I spent on stupid shit. The marketing things I did that didn't work. The ways in which I managed my customers that didn't work. The way in which I managed my time, which was exactly wrong. Oh my, so many things. And I've talked about them on my blogs before. You can go read those articles. But I did so many things wrong. I almost filed bankruptcy during that time. But guess what? Within 3.5 years, I was making a six-figure income, $100,000 a year plus in 1990s dollars, which would be a lot more today. So do you think I give a shit now? At my income level now, or even back then when I was 27 years old making a six-figure income, do you think I cared about all the shit I did wrong once I was sitting pretty at age 27 making $100,000 plus a year in 1990s dollars? No, I was so happy I was on top of the world with that income. Now today, I would kill myself if I made that little. I make many, many multiples of that today, but whatever. Back then I was so happy and so excited because $100,000 a year was such a big goal I had in my 20s. For so long, starting at age 18. I had a 10-year goal to get from zero to 100,000 a year from age 18 to age 28. And I beat it by a year. By 27, I had that goal. I was so happy. So it doesn't matter if I did shit wrong. Number one. Number two, I learned things by doing things wrong that I would have never learned had I done 100% of everything right, which, by the way, doesn't happen in the real world. You will make mistakes. You will do things wrong. The things that I did wrong during that 3.5 years propelled me to even greater business success later in my life because I knew exactly what I did wrong and that I wasn't going to repeat and do again. Doing things wrong is good. It's a good thing, not a bad thing. Again, you motherfuckers who went to college, you've been trained wrong. You've been trained the opposite. You've been trained if you do things wrong, that's bad. You're gonna get a bad grade. You're gonna fail this class, god damn it. You're gonna fail this course, you're gonna fail this test. So fucking stupid. One of the many reasons why college today is such poison to most men. It trains them on the exact wrong things. You've got to do things wrong. It's necessary for success. And when you do things wrong, almost never is it something you can't fix. There's no mistake you can make in business or your woman life that you won't be able to fix. The one exception I can think of is if you get a woman pregnant on accident and she actually has the baby and you live in North America. Then you got a problem. Other than that, you're fine. I have said in videos that I have made literally every mistake with women you can possibly make. I've said this, and it's true. Other than getting a woman pregnant by accident. I've never done that. But other than that, I have done everything wrong with women. I have done not everything wrong in business, but a lot of things wrong in business. And those are my two success areas. Those are the two things I did very, very, very well many, many years ago. And today, my life is a fucking paradise because I had the balls to do those things wrong. So you need to reorient your entire thought process on, well, what if I do it wrong? then you fucking do it wrong. Well, what if I lose 600 bucks? Then you lose 600 bucks. Guess what? I'm going to say something that's going to blow your mind. You ready for this? This is going to fucking blow your mind. You've never thought of this. Your head's going to explode when I tell you this because it's so profound and amazing. You ready? You ready? Here we go. You ready for this? If you lose 600 bucks, you can go make 600 bucks back again. That's right. I know I just blew your mind. I know that's just insane. But if you lose 600 bucks, you can go out in the world and re-earn that $600 and get the $600 back. Matter of fact, you can make back 1,000 bucks. You can make back 5,000 bucks. You can make back 10,000 bucks. You can make back $100,000. When I got divorced so many years ago, I lost a decent hunk of money. It was a decent hunk of money. I didn't get financially raped like a lot of guys do in divorces. It wasn't that bad. It didn't like destroy my life. But I lost a decent hunk of money. Guess what? Within, let's see, I want to say, well, let's see, the actual physical divorce was 2007. The legal divorce was 2009. It took me 2 years because I was stupid. By 2011, I had made all the money back. So within 2 years of the legal divorce being finalized, I made all the money back that I lost my divorce, all of it. So everything past that time, 2011, was just profit for me. And as I've talked about, you can make a lot more money when you're not traditionally monogamous and married. And I did. So do you think I give a shit about the money I lost back then? No, I made it all back within 2 years. And it was a lot of money. A lot more than 10,000 bucks. So remember that. If you lose money, fine, you can make it back. And now, here's two things. One is, when you do the thing you tried again, it will probably cost less money because you're better at it. Number two, you don't ever actually lose money. You don't. It's just gone temporarily until you make it back again. Guys likely you seem to live in this strange, bizarre, parallel universe where if you lose money, you never get it back ever again. If I lose 600 bucks, I'm fucked. I'll never be able to make 600 bucks back ever again. If I have a first date and I try some techniques from the Black Dragon system and it doesn't work and she says, fuck you, and she never sees me ever again, I'm fucked. I will never have sex with another woman ever again because she didn't like me. That's the world in which you live when you justify, or not even justify, when you take action on perfectionism and procrastination. That's how you think. Yeah, it sounds insane, but that's how you're being. Procrastination and particularly perfectionism are fundamentally irrational conditions. These are not rational. I am an example of this. I am an example of a guy who's done many things wrong and hit just about every, other than my physical life, other than my physical fitness life, I have not only hit but exceeded every goal I've ever set for myself by doing things wrong. I don't fear things going wrong. I don't fucking care. Now, do I love it when things go wrong? Of course not. Fuck, of course not. This year, 2020, a bunch of things have gone wrong in my 5 Flags projects because of all the border shutdowns for coronavirus. And so, yeah, was I happy when these things happened? No, not happy, but I don't give a fuck. Fine, find ways around them. There's some slight delays, and we take care of them next year, or whatever. Or you take care of them in other ways. Matter of fact, because of these border shutdowns for 2020, there are now things I can do to get my 5 Flags stuff done where now I don't necessarily need to actually physically visit these countries. Some of them I still do, but some of them I don't. I can do them all remotely, as long as I don't mind fucking with some paperwork. So that's a benefit. That's the other thing too, is sometimes problems create benefits. A guy once told me years ago, I forget who this was, I watched one of his seminars a long time ago. He said, when God gives you a gift, he gives it to you wrapped in a problem. Sounds corny and stupid, but to a degree, that's accurate. I mean, 14, 15, whatever years ago when I got divorced, that was a pretty big fucking problem. I wasn't very happy about it. But if that divorce had never happened, I would have never lived the lifestyle I live now. And that would have been a huge tragedy. I shudder to think what would have happened if I had stayed married to that woman. Holy God. No, I'll happily take the divorce and the problems and the lost money and make the money back in 2 years. Fine. Now, that's the first thing. You need to reorient your feelings about doing things wrong because you have been trained incorrectly by your parents, by society, certainly by the school system, and also by your own insecurities. You've got to suck it up. You got to man up and just say, hey, if I do things wrong, I do things wrong. It's not the end of the world. I have to do things wrong in order to get to the results that I want. That's the way this goes. Now, that's the first thing. Second thing, I follow a concept called the 80% rule. Now, you may have heard me talk about the 2% rule. You may have heard me talk about the 90% rule. And I follow those rules too. Off topic for this podcast. But I follow, particularly in my business life, I don't really do this in my woman life, but in my business life, I follow a concept called the 80% rule. And this was something I originally learned from one of my mentors, Alan Weiss. This was refined by another mentor of mine, Dan Sullivan, years later. But the basic core of the 80% rule is 80% equals done. 80% equals done. This destroys perfectionism. 80% is done. So if I want to build a website, let's say I want to build a blog, or I want to write a book, which I do a lot of, or I want to design some kind of system, or whatever. When I get to 80%, I'm done. It is ready to go. 80% equals done. Now, I didn't say 80% is perfect. I didn't say 80% is problem-free. 80% is done, and now I execute. I used to be a perfectionist somewhat, not as bad as a lot of you, but I used to go, when I would write a book, or I would design a website, or do a sales page, or work on a white paper in my consulting practice, or do a proposal in my consulting practice, I would go over that thing and go over it and go over it and go over it and go spend hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of my life getting that thing goddamn perfect. And it was stupid. I wasted so much time. I caused so much stress for myself. It was absolutely ridiculous. I shouldn't have done it, but I did it anyway because I didn't understand this rule. 80% is done. I learned this again from Alan Weiss. Alan Weiss, if you didn't know, you can look him up. He's alanweiss.com, W-E-I-S-S, I think. E or I forget the I goes before he in this name. But anyway, he is a consultant who, and he's done this for, 30 plus years now, who makes $1 million a year. That's his income. He makes $1 million. I mean, today he makes a lot more than this, but back then, he's making $1 million a year as a consultant out of his house with no employees, and he worked less than 25 hours a week. So if you think the 80% rule doesn't work, wrong. No, this guy lived and breathed by that rule. 80% equals done. So whatever you're working on in terms of your Alpha 2.0 business, if that means doing research for a niche, if that means writing a book, if that means writing a blog, if that means doing YouTube videos or podcasts, all of which I do, 80% equals done. If you try to get it better than 80%, you are wasting your fucking time, and most importantly, you are raising the odds you won't actually complete it. So not only is 80% equal done, but the second piece to this is you get to the 80% as fast as you can. But Caleb, if I'm fast, I might make mistakes. I'm like, oh my God! Yes, you might make mistakes. I've got news for you. Again, this is gonna blow you away. You'll be shocked to hear this. You ready? You ready? And don't tell anybody this. This is just between you and me. So I'm going to whisper it. I'm going to say it really quietly because I don't want anyone to know this. You ready? All right. Okay, here we go. Some of my books that I have written and published and sell for as much as $57 have typos in them. Holy fuck! They have typos. Oh no, I have a typo on page 39. Oh no, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a, you know how much money I make selling those books? Do you have any idea how much money I make in a typical year selling my Black Dragon books, The Unchained Man, Big Income from Little Work, even Samson and the Wizard, that little book? You have any idea what my average monthly income is selling those books? I'm not going to give you numbers, but it's a lot. Matter of fact, that one income stream is more than the typical American makes from selling those books. And you know what? If you comb through those books very, very carefully with a magnifying glass, and some of my audience does because they're perfectionists, you might find one or two typos. Oh my God. Do you think I give a fuck? No, I don't, because 80% equals done. I'm here to achieve my financial goals. I'm here to achieve my life goals. I'm here to achieve my woman goals. I'm here to achieve my fitness goals. I'm here to achieve goals. I'm here to get results. I'm here to get what I want. And if I'm going to stress and stress and stress and stress forever about being a goddamn perfectionist, I'm never going to hit those goals. This is one of the reasons, I've said this many times before, that there's a lot of men in my audience, and a lot of men I personally know in my normal day-to-day in real life, in my work life, my social life, family life, etc. Men who are extremely intelligent, extremely knowledgeable, extremely good at what they do, more intelligent than me, certainly more articulate than me, more traditionally highly educated than me, who will never make more than $40,000 a year. maybe $50,000 a year, ever, never, ever. Who will never have a woman in their life who's better than, typical monogamous girlfriend or wife, who on a scale from 1 to 10 is like a 5 or a 6. They will never achieve anything beyond that because they have perfectionism and procrastination. They are scared to death to do anything unless they do it 100% right the very first time, which is not how the fucking world works. Those are the two things you need to do. Number one, you need to reorient your brain to get from making a mistake, doing something wrong is bad, to making a mistake, doing something wrong is required for me to be successful. In whatever area you want to be successful in, and everyone defines success differently. You're listening to me, and this is Alpha Male 2.0, so success in that context would be a location-independent small business, ideally 2 to 4 of them, that the total income pre-tax is $75,000 a year or more, location-independent, and you are having sex with, on a regular basis, at least 2 women who you consider at least cute. They cannot be ugly and they cannot be average. So I would define success that way if you haven't accomplished both of those things. So whatever that is, in order to get to that point, you're going to have to do a few things wrong. And that's okay. And number 2, the 80% rule, 80% equals done. I have coached with guys, and just by me telling them that, they're like, holy shit, that changed everything for me. 80% equals done. Whatever you're working on, particularly in your business life, whatever you're working on, 80% equals done. When you're 80% there, you're done. It is now time to get off your ass and execute and take action. And yes, you might fuck up that other 20%. Yes, that's fine. Who gives a fuck? Go. By the way, you can always go back and address that 20% later. I do that. So what I did a few years ago was I took all the reports of typos in my Black Dragon books, and I had a few of them, and I put them all together, and I went through all my old Black Dragon books, not my old ones, but my current ones, and I republished them fixing those typos. But that's my point. They were on the market for a while before I did that. I didn't say, I have to make sure there's absolutely 0 typos in this book before I launch this book, because I am a perfectionist and I have a standard of blah, 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 blah. No, I didn't go to college. I like making money, not being a goddamn perfectionist. So you can always address this later. Cool? Cool. I realize this is easier said than done. I realize it's pretty easy for me to just yell at you in this podcast. Just don't do that. That's why I gave you 2 specific things you could do. And you may have to work on this, and maybe to a degree, some of you will not cure this problem completely, but you can certainly alleviate it. If it's at a scale of 1 to 10, you have this problem at a 9, get it down to a 5, get it down to a 4. You don't have to get it to a 0. Get it down to at least a 4 or 5, so you can start taking action and getting results. Cool? Cool. Think about this. Don't be a perfectionist. Don't procrastinate. Get it done and do it wrong. And I will see you again very soon. Bye.